Most people think Greece is just ancient ruins and crowded island beaches. But what if I told you there are places in Greece so stunning, so impossibly beautiful, that they look like the gods themselves designed them as their personal vacation spots? I've discovered 15 destinations across Greece that will make you understand why ancient Greeks believed their gods lived in the most beautiful places on earth. From hidden beaches where the water glows electric blue, to monasteries built impossibly on top of towering rock pillars, to islands where time seems to have stopped in the most perfect moment. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal the Greece that exists beyond the typical tourist photos. These are places where mythology comes alive, where every sunset looks like a painting, where the Mediterranean reaches its absolute peak of perfection. Get ready to see Greece like the gods intended it to be seen. Number 15, Navaggio Beach on Zakynthos, where a shipwreck from 1980 sits on one of the world's most beautiful beaches, accessible only by boat through waters so blue they look artificially colored. This is Greece's most photographed beach. The contrast is incredible. Rusty shipwreck metal against pure white sand, towering limestone cliffs against electric blue water. The beach was created when an earthquake in 1953 caused a cliff collapse, forming this perfect hidden cove. Local legend says the ship was carrying smuggled cigarettes when it washed ashore during a storm. Number 14, Meteora, where Eastern Orthodox monasteries sit impossibly on top of sandstone rock pillars that rise like ancient skyscrapers from the valley floor. These monasteries were built in the 14th century when monks used rope ladders and baskets to carry building materials to the top. The word Meteora means suspended in air, and that's exactly how these monasteries look. For centuries, the only way to reach them was by climbing 20-meter ladders or being hauled up in nets. Today, you can walk up carved stone steps, but standing here still feels like being lifted directly to heaven. Number 13, Santorini's blue domes in Ia, where the most famous sunset in Greece happens every single evening like clockwork. These blue and white buildings aren't just beautiful. They're built on the rim of an active volcano. Every evening, thousands of people gather to watch the sun disappear into the Aegean Sea, creating colors that range from deep purple to brilliant orange. The blue domes represent the color of the Greek flag, while the white buildings reflect the intense summer heat. But here's the incredible part. This entire island is actually the rim of a collapsed volcano that last erupted in 1950. Number 12, Melissini Cave on Kefalonia, where an underground lake glows electric blue when sunlight streams through a collapsed roof opening. Rowing through this cave feels like traveling through liquid sapphire. The water is so clear you can see 45 feet to the bottom, and it's actually a mix of seawater and fresh water that creates this incredible blue glow. Ancient Greeks believed this was the cave of the nymphs, and when you're floating on this impossibly blue water surrounded by limestone formations, you understand why they thought it was magical. Number 11, the windmills of Mykonos, where 16 traditional windmills stand like white sentinels overlooking one of the most picturesque harbors in the Mediterranean. These windmills have been grinding grain for over 500 years. The windmills use the powerful Meltemi winds that blow across the Aegean Sea every summer. Below them, the town of Mykonos spreads out like a white and blue maze, where every building is painted brilliant white by law to reflect the intense Greek sun. Walking these streets feels like wandering through a three-dimensional postcard. Number 10, Balos Lagoon in Crete, where pink sand meets water that displays 7 different shades of blue in a single lagoon. This isn't Photoshop. The sand gets its pink color from millions of crushed shells and coral. The lagoon was formed when an earthquake created a natural barrier between the sea and the shore. The water is incredibly shallow and warm, perfect for swimming in what feels like a natural infinity pool. Prince Charles and Princess Diana chose this beach for a private getaway in 1982, calling it one of the most beautiful places on Earth. Number 9, Delphi, where ancient Greeks believed the center of the world existed and where the oracle delivered prophecies that shaped history. This sanctuary sits on the slopes of Mount Parnassus, surrounded by olive groves and dramatic mountain vistas. For over 1,000 years, people traveled from across the known world to consult the oracle at Delphi. The setting is so spectacular that you understand why ancient Greeks chose this place as sacred. Standing here among these ruins, with the valley stretching out below and eagles soaring overhead, you feel connected to something eternal. Number 8, Kleftiko Beach on Milos, where white volcanic rocks have been carved by waves into incredible sculptures that look like ancient cathedrals rising from the sea. You can only reach this beach by boat, swimming through sea caves into hidden lagoons. The name Kleftiko means pirate's lair because pirates used to hide their ships in these sea caves. The volcanic activity that created Milos also created these incredible white rock formations. Swimming here feels like exploring an underwater sculpture garden, where nature has created art more beautiful than anything humans could imagine. Number 7, the Acropolis of Athens, where the Parthenon has stood for over 2,400 years as the symbol of democracy in Western civilization. This temple was built to mathematical perfection that still influences architecture today. The Parthenon was built entirely without mortar, using marble blocks fitted so perfectly they've survived earthquakes, wars, and time itself. The columns aren't actually straight, they bulge slightly in the middle to create an optical illusion of perfect straightness. Standing here, you're at the birthplace of democracy, philosophy, and theater. Number 6. The Blue Caves of Zakynthos, where underwater limestone formations reflect sunlight to create water that glows electric blue like liquid neon. Swimming here is like swimming in liquid light. The caves were formed by thousands of years of wave action carving into limestone cliffs. The blue glow happens when sunlight enters the caves and reflects off the white limestone underwater, creating this incredible luminescent effect. Local fishermen discovered these caves by accident, but now they're considered one of the most beautiful natural phenomena in Greece. Number 5, Samaria Gorge in Crete, where you can hike through a gorge that's only 3 meters wide in some places, with walls rising over 300 meters on both sides. This is one of Europe's longest gorges. The 16-kilometer hike takes you through an incredible variety of landscapes, from dense forests to barren rock, from mountain streams to the Libyan Sea. The gorge is home to unique species found nowhere else on Earth, including the Cretan wild goat. Reaching the end feels like completing an ancient pilgrimage through sacred landscape. Number 4, Corfu Old Town, where Venetian, French, and British influences create architecture so beautiful, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Walking these streets feels like traveling through different European countries in the same afternoon. The Liston Promenade was modeled after Paris's Rue de Rivoli, while the Spianata Square is the largest square in Greece. The mix of architectural styles reflects Corfu's unique history. It's the only part of Greece that was never conquered by the Ottoman Empire, so it developed a completely different character from the rest of the country. Number 3, Rhodes Old Town, the best preserved medieval city in Europe, where you can walk through streets that haven't changed since the Knights of St. John built this fortress 600 years ago. This entire city is like a living museum. The massive walls of Rhodes Old Town are over 2 miles long and up to 40 feet thick. Inside, the cobblestone streets lead to medieval palaces, Byzantine churches, and Ottoman mosques. You can still see the Street of the Knights, where each building represented a different European country's division of the Knights Hospitaller. Number 2, Foligandros Chora, where a traditional Cycladic village perches impossibly on a cliff edge 200 meters above the sea. This is Greece's most dramatic village setting, where every house seems to defy gravity. The village was built on this cliff for protection from pirates, with houses forming the outer wall of defense. Today, walking through the marble-paved streets feels like being in a 3-dimensional Greek postcard. The main square, called Platea, is considered one of the most beautiful village squares in the Cyclades, surrounded by traditional tavernas and cafes. And number 1, Voidokilia Beach in Messina, where nature created a perfect horseshoe-shaped bay with golden sand so soft it feels like silk, surrounded by crystal clear water that stays shallow for hundreds of meters. This beach is geometric perfection. The name means ox belly in Greek because of its perfect curved shape. This beach has been virtually unchanged for thousands of years. It's mentioned in Homer's Odyssey as the place where Telemachus landed. The water stays waist deep for so far out that you can walk almost to the center of the bay, making it feel like a giant natural swimming pool. From beaches that look like liquid jewels to monasteries suspended between earth and heaven, from ancient temples where democracy was born to villages that cling impossibly to cliff tops, Greece isn't just a travel destination, it's where European civilization and Mediterranean beauty reach their absolute peak. What makes Greece truly magical is how ancient history and natural beauty exist in perfect harmony. You can explore temples that are older than most countries, then swim in waters so clear and blue they look otherworldly. Greek hospitality means you're not just a tourist, you're a guest in the homeland of philosophy, democracy, and the Olympic Games. Now I'm curious to know which of these 15 places made you want to book a flight to Greece immediately. Was it those impossible monasteries perched on stone pillars? Or maybe that underground lake that glows like liquid sapphire? Drop a comment below with the number of your favorite Greek paradise. If this video has filled your soul with Greek wanderlust, show some love by hitting that subscribe button and ringing the notification bell. Every week, we explore destinations that prove our planet is more beautiful than we ever dreamed possible, and you definitely don't want to miss what's coming next. Speaking of Mediterranean magic, next week, we're island hopping through Croatia to discover 15 places where emerald lakes meet ancient cities, where waterfalls cascade into crystal clear seas, and where Game of Thrones filming locations prove that fantasy and reality can be the same thing. Croatia is going to leave you speechless. Until then, keep dreaming of azure seas and ancient wonders, keep planning your next Mediterranean adventure, and I'll see you in the next incredible destination.